Good morning, good evening, good night. Whenever you guys are watching this channel, first subscribe. I know you guys have heard it's been in the news all week, the last couple of weeks. Kyrie Irvin, he sent a tweet, and they said that this tweet was anti-Semitic. He just put a capture of a documentary, but I was wondering if Candace Owens was going to say something on this, and I'm going to let you listen to some of what she said, and I will also put the full link of her video here in my description. But check this out and you tell me what you think. We'll watch it together.
Unless you have quite literally been hiding under a rock, you have been paying attention to the fact that the only topic of discussion over the past 4 days has been Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is a basketball player, a tremendous basketball player who is in a lot of trouble with the NBA. Now, why is Kyrie in trouble with the NBA? Well, I want to make sure that we unpack this story slowly so that you can form opinions that are based on facts and not based on the emotion that is perpetually in the media. So Kyrie Irving tweeted this. If you're listening to this podcast, there is no commentary on the tweet whatsoever. It is simply a link to Amazon.com to a documentary that is entitled Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. So he essentially tweeted a link to a documentary that is available for every single person to watch on Amazon. It's not like he directed your attention to an obscure website. He just dropped the link. And this created an absolute firestorm online. The next thing that I saw was a statement that the Brooklyn Nets put out in regards to Kyrie's press conference. So there was a firestorm. Kyrie had a press conference where the journalists pressed him on why he shared this documentary. And the Brooklyn Nets issued this statement regarding that press conference. They said, quote, "Over the last several days, we have made repeated attempts to work with Kyrie Irving to help him understand the harm and danger of his words and actions, which began with him publicizing a film containing deeply disturbing anti-Semitic hate. We believed that taking the path of education in this challenging situation would be the right one and thought that we had made progress with our joint commitment to eradicating hate and intolerance. We were dismayed today when given an opportunity in a media session that Kyrie refused to unequivocally say that he has no anti-Semitic beliefs nor acknowledge specific hateful material in the film. This was not the first time that he had the opportunity, but failed to clarify. Such failure to disavow anti-Semitism when given a clear opportunity to do so is deeply disturbing, is against the values of our organization, and constitutes conduct detrimental to the team. Accordingly, we are of the view that he is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. We had decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures that address the harmful impact of his conduct, and the suspension period served is no less than 5 games. Wow, that's a very strong statement from the Brooklyn Nets. They're saying that he is unfit to be associated based on the words that he shared during this press conference. He offered no words and no commentary when he shared a link to this documentary, again, freely available on Amazon for any person to watch. But apparently the words of his press conference is what has set them off, and they are realizing that he is not condemning anti-Semitism. So when I saw this post, I went, wow. What did Kyrie Irving say? Obviously, he must have said something that was horrific and which all of us should get on board and condemn. He must have said something that was so bad that the Brooklyn Nets, the NBA Association, which painted the floors with Black Lives Matter, right? And even though Black Lives Matter was leading to looting and rioting and people were dying in these BLM loots and riots, they still stood by and said, this is totally fine because Black people have to be able to express themselves. So obviously, reading the statement, he must have really tripped into some territory of wrongness that is worthy of the suspension. Then I actually listened to Kyrie Irving in his words, and I could not believe that the Nets had the ability to say that he was unfit to associate with them based on these words. Take a listen.
hindsight, are you sorry for the hurt that your post caused people?
I'll take my responsibility for posting that. Some things that were questionable in there, untrue. Like I said, and the first time you guys asked me when I was sitting on that stage, I don't believe everything that everybody posts. It's a documentary. So, take my responsibility.
It seems like Adam sort of wanted to hear the word, I apologize, or in your mind, you said, I didn't mean to cause any harm. Were you apologizing, or did you not apologize?
I didn't mean to cause any harm. I'm not the one that made the documentary.
What are the specific things in the documentary that you don't believe are true and that you don't believe represent your wrongs?
I think some of the criticism of the Jewish faith in the community, for sure. Some points made in there that were unfortunate.
Kyrie, are you surprised that you did hurt people?
Surprised that I did hurt people?
Are you surprised that reaction and some of the things that you did hurt people?
Yeah, I think I can ask a better question. It's just, where were you when I was a kid, figuring out that 300 million of my ancestors are buried in America? Where were you guys asking those same questions when I was a kid learning about the traumatic events of my familial history and what I'm proud to come from and why I'm proud to stand here and why when I repeat myself that I'm not going to stand down, it has nothing to do with dismissing any other race or group of people. I'm just proud of my heritage and what we've been through. And the fact that this has pinned me against the Jewish community. And I'm here answering questions of whether or not I'm sorry or not on something I didn't create. And it was something I shared. And I'm telling everybody I'm taking responsibility. Then that's where I sit. So, you know, these same questions that you guys ask, me dealing with it as being a melanated, pigmented person all around the world and dealing with racial biases against my skin color, demeaning me because of my religious beliefs, and I'm still sitting in the seat standing. So I take my full responsibility. Again, I'll repeat it, for posting something on my Instagram or Twitter that may have had some unfortunate falsehoods in it. But I also am a human being that's 30 years old, and I've been growing up in a country that's told me that I wasn't worth anything, and I came from a slave class, and I come from a people that are meant to be treated the way we get treated every day. So I'm not here to compare anyone's atrocities or tragic events that their families have dealt with generations of time. I'm just here to continue to expose things that our world continues to put in darkness. I'm a light. I'm a beacon of light. That's what I'm here to do. You guys ask me questions about basketball, I give you my expert opinion. You guys ask me about other things, I give you my opinion, and it's met with whatever you believe the perception or the deception is. You guys investigate my life every day, and you justify it by serving your own purpose, which I honor. I would like the same respect in return, figuring out just like anyone else. So please keep that same energy when we're talking about anti-other things, because just because I post a documentary doesn't mean I'm anti-Semitic, and doesn't mean that I'm automatically standing with everyone that is believing in it. So it's unfortunate timing that we're in, but I'm glad that I could stand on the truth, because I'm not afraid of these mics, these cameras. I used to be, looking everyone in the eye and telling them the truth, and I'm proud of who I am. Any label that you put on me, I'm able to dismiss because I studied. I know the Oxford Dictionary, you look it up, right? Just one of the biggest mistakes I had in being a kid was not knowing European or Western language until I started looking it up and understanding the definitions and why they say, if you want to trick a black person, put it in the book. I was wondering my whole life why they said that. Now I'm 30 years old and I know reading is a superpower because it helps me understand where I'm going and where I come from. Like a tree with roots.
Kyrie, the documentary listed among falsehoods, it said the Holocaust didn't happen. Do you believe the Holocaust
those falsehoods
happened?
are unfortunate. And it's not that I don't believe in the Holocaust. I never said that. Never, ever have said it. It's not come out of my mouth. I never tweeted it. I never liked anything like it. So the Holocaust in itself is an event that means something to a large group of people that suffered something that could have been avoided. No one said we had to practice racism. No one said we had to treat each other like garbage. No one said that I had to stand here today and understand that many people that come from generations 60 years ago, 40 years ago, enslaved some of my ancestors still, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and it's still going on. And you guys are asking me, respectfully, to speak on something that was a documentary that I had nothing to do with. I didn't make it. So just please keep that same energy when you guys are addressing me.
Kyrie, for the record, do you have any anti-Semitic beliefs?
Again, I'm going to repeat. I don't know how the label becomes justified because you guys ask me the same questions over and over again. But this is not going to turn into a spin around cycle of questions upon questions. I told you guys how I felt. I respect all walks of life and embrace all walks of life. That's where I sit.
I think what people want to hear, though, is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
Kyrie, did you personally meet with the ADL?
I was informed that they wanted to have a meeting, and we handled it.
So I wanted to play that press conference in its entirety because it is important. It's important to underscore, first and foremost, the absurdity of the media, the way that they are behaving in that press conference. They're essentially approaching him, pretending that every single word of the documentary that Kyrie Irving did not make, he has to answer for. Could you imagine a world in which everything you watch, right, you are somehow now responsible for every single word within it? Notably absent, by the way, is the press going up to Jeff Bezos, who is the owner of Amazon, who runs Amazon, and saying, hey, why did you allow this documentary to be on Amazon? There's no outcry. There's no everybody delete your Amazon accounts because of this documentary. They are putting this firmly and squarely on Kyrie Irving, which is problematic in the first place. I want to also make it clear that in listening to his words, it is pointedly ridiculous that they would say that he is unfit to be associated with. There was nothing that he said, but I would say that he is unfit to be associated with because he very clearly condemns the falsities in the movie. He says, I do not think this way. He actually calls them falsehoods that are unfortunate, right? He says that that is not what I said. Do not attribute every word in this documentary to what my beliefs are. He also very clearly stipulates to them when they ask him, are you anti-Semitic? He clarifies that he's not anti-Semitic. Now, why is Kyrie Irving saying that? Why is he saying, I can't be anti-Semitic? Why is he saying that a couple of breaths after he talks about the Oxford Dictionary? So here is the definition of Semitic straight from the Oxford Dictionary. It's relating to or denoting a family of languages that includes Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic, and certain ancient languages such as Phoenician and Akkadian, constituting the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family. The second definition listed is relating to the people who speak Semitic languages, especially Hebrew and Arabic. So clearly what Kyrie Irving is saying based on that definition is that he believes that he is Semitic, that he hails from maybe Africa or from Asia, which is what the documentary explores. I'm going to give you my feedback because obviously I watched the documentary after listening to this, right? His feedback is, do not make the word Semitic just about Jewish people in America. It includes a lot of other people, okay? Now you might disagree with that. You might disagree with the Oxford Dictionary definition, but you can't be mad at him for stating the actual Oxford Dictionary definition. Following the statement that was made by the Brooklyn Nets, they then came back and they have listed the 6 steps that Kyrie Irving must complete to return back to the Brooklyn Nets, and here's what they are. Ready? The first thing that Kyrie Irving must do is apologize for linking the movie. Let's stop right there. That is an absurdity. Kyrie Irving, on the other hand, which, by the way, is my true opinion, really got the NBA association angry when he refused to get the COVID vaccine. They're angry at him because they feel that they have some ownership over his body. And when he took a quiet protest and stance and decided that he was not going to get the COVID vaccine, which now has been proven a completely valid stance, I was one of the early ones too. You're not just going to put something in my body because you're telling everybody that they should do it immediately to save the world. It didn't make sense. And the NBA is angry because Kyrie Irving held that stance. And what better way than to try to hang him for sharing a link to a movie that the overwhelming majority of people that are weighing in did not watch. The movie is 3.5 hours long. But nope, the first thing he must do is apologize for linking the movie absent any comment. The second thing that they want him to do is to complete the anti-hate causes that the Nets first mentioned on November 2nd. It included a $500,000 donation to the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL. But last week, the ADL CEO, Jonathan Greenblatt, said the organization could not accept the money while Irving refused to apologize. So by the way, he should never give a single red cent to the ADL. They are a hate group. They call me, every single person, a hateful human being. They're essentially just like BLM, right? They say you can buy your way back into society. It's like indulgences if you just give us a lot of money. What? That's completely foolish. No, you should not just take $500,000 from somebody in order to get his job back. I mean, how ridiculous is that? It's extortion at its finest. The third thing that they want Kyrie Irving to do is to complete sensitivity training. Okay, whatever that means. The fourth thing is that he must complete anti-Semitic and hate training, both of which will be created by the Nets. The fifth thing he must do is to meet with Jewish community leaders in Brooklyn. The sixth thing that he must do is meet with Nets owner Joe Tsai to demonstrate the lessons learned and that the gravity of the harm caused is understood. So this is now becoming basically a humiliation ritual, right? So I can't imagine just having shared a link to a movie, even, yes, okay, the movie had some falsehoods. He's acknowledged that. He immediately acknowledged it, which was the right thing to do, that there are some things in here that maybe are not correct. He took ownership over that. But despite doing that, they're just humiliating him. They just want to humiliate him. They want to take money from him, and they want to show to everybody else that we have the full power and control over our players. Do you want to know what the actual result is, by the way, of the censorship that came? The ADL is now calling for the documentary to be pulled down. This documentary, which was obscure, in which nobody would have watched, even though Kyrie Irving tweeted it, is now the #1 thing watched on Amazon. It's #1 documentary on Amazon because everybody's wondering, Streisand effect, what the heck is all of the fuss about? And beyond that, now people are watching it assuming that everything in the documentary is true. These are real comments that are happening online. Pay attention to the trends of Kyrie, right? The hashtag Kyrie on Twitter. If you go under the comments, if you go onto Facebook and you look at the discussions that are happening all across America, they believe that everything in this documentary is true because of how vicious the media was in their overreaction and how vicious they are being in their punishment towards Kyrie Irving. So what I really want to say to you guys is understand that that's how it works. If you're not going to be bold enough to have tough discussions, you're instead going to essentially hang Kyrie Irving, right, for perhaps sharing something that he shouldn't have shared without some commentary that, hey, everything in this is not true. What you're going to end up with is more people that feel that everything in the documentary is true, which is not really what you want to do. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all that I have to say about that.
Wow. Candace. These millennials, they're doing research, and Kyrie said the millennials was born between the year of 1981 through 1996. So from 1981 to 1996 is the millennials. So they're between the ages of 26 and 42 as of today, November the 11th, 2022. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this. Is Kyrie wrong or is he right? What did he do wrong? Me personally, I don't see anything he did wrong. And they're just trying to beat him into submission and let other people know, hey, if you guys step out of line, this is what's going to happen to you also. But anyway, again, thanks for watching and subscribe to my channel and have a great day.